Maybe it just because you don't get the joke doesn't mean the joke isn't funny. I was at a coffee shop and these two guys sat down and then the Chinese guy repeated one of my jokes and then he laughed and then he said, "Hey bro, don't scold me. Not I say one, he say one."
Stand-up comedians completely dislike doing the corporate circuit.
There's a limit to the number of the things that we can do before we completely lose our soul.
It was good to see Dick Lee coming in on a hot air balloon.
Did he? I think there's no limit as to how much Singapore can just top whatever amazing thing we can do. They used to sell illegal DVDs there. That's the first time I ever saw a porn DVD when I was 12.
Whoa, in the mall? What's going on, everyone? Thanks a lot for joining us on another episode of the Rishi Report SG60 podcast special, a show where we typically bring you broken news by broke comedians. I tell you something, comedy can be a very lonely journey, so I'm always happy when I have fellow comedians join me on the show. This next comic I have with me is not broke, I don't believe so. No, he's got 2 Netflix specials. He's been touring many countries, including Australia. And right now, he's paying rent in ringgit. Everybody, please welcome the very talented Fadzri, Rashid.
My grandfather was a prisoner for maybe a week by Japanese occupation.
Shit.
He stole mangoes. This is all on channel news.
Yeah.
He stole mangoes from Japanese because he wanted to give. I mean, the story is he wanted to give his wife lah. He stole mangoes. Then after that, the Japanese soldier caught him and then they whacked him because he stole mangoes.
Kept him in jail for a week. In prison for a week.
For stealing mangoes. But because he wasn't Chinese, so they didn't kill him, you know.
Really, yeah?
I mean, you know what I mean? If the fellow was Chinese, he would have been bro.
So this Malay privilege has been since then,
Yeah lah, that's what Tunku is trying to say to Lee Kuan Yew, but don't listen. Meritocracy lah, what lah. Nonsense, bro. Rubbish, bro. Rubbish, bro.
Bro, it's all about the...
You say what? People should get there based on their merits. That's crazy.
No, man. It's about the skin color.
And where you were born.
Man. Come on, get with the program.
Okay.
What's up with y'all?
Okay. I wear black as a form of rebellion to your red. I hope you know this. Because
it's very anti-Singapore, bro.
It's because I choose to stand up for the migrant workers.
Okay.
I like Luqman's ball now. I embraced it. I like that.
Yeah, bro. Ever since he started editing the Rishi Report,
Yeah. You know, a lot of times, right, whenever I do corporate, right, and then halfway through I'm doing corporate, right, I think to myself, Rishi would kill this. You know, I do. I was like, man, Rishi would so know what to do at this point. He'll be like, where are you from? Get up. Give him a round of applause. That side, 10,000 points. You.
No, hey, look.
You know, like he would.
I like to refute that. I've never in my life agreed to give points to sites at a D&D, bro.
Really, yeah?
I hope it goes well, and I hope you already got paid, more importantly.
No, that one Kai would know lah if I got paid. Not yet, right. All right, yeah. Go on, we do CNB one, bro.
Full payment before the show. Have you not met Jason Leong and Douglas Lim before?
Yeah, bro, I did one CNB one recently. I died on my ass, bro. Like, literally. Like, so CNB. So that night, I think I did CNB. You know, that week was CNB and volunteer police. Then you know how, like, volunteer police usually, you'll be like, okay, if one gig does well, then the other gig, like, maybe not. Maybe the other gig would not do well. Or if this gig died, then maybe that gig. Bro, both I died. I died both. Both I died. Like, the CNB one, I died. The volunteer one, I died harder.
Bro, have you died 3 gigs a night? 3 corporates a night. Like, you know how they say, like, your heart is full?
Empty.
My heart was all gone, bro. Bank account, okay. But your heart is
it really hurts the core of your soul. Like, this week, this is how long we've been in the business, right? Like we know what's going on now. So, like, Jason Leong calls me. Then Jason Leong goes like, hey, you're doing 3... Like, not congratulations, hey, you're doing 3 corporates this week, Hey, you need to pace yourself because, you know, there's a limit to the number of the things that we can do before we completely lose our soul. And I'm like, okay, thanks, man. Thanks for telling me that. That's a real friend.
Shit, man. There have been a lot of times, again, those of you who don't know this, stand-up comedians completely dislike doing the corporate circuit.
Yeah.
But it is pound for pound probably the one that pays you the most on a regular basis. Pound for pound.
Yeah. I mean, if you got campaigns going on, then that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got campaigns going on there.
I'm saying, like, for 20 minutes of work, right? Campaign, okay, maybe you got a shoot, you got a photo shoot, you go for this meeting, that writing, that video, whatever. Those are good. But pound for pound, the reason any of us, I guess, still kind of do it a little bit here and there is
the money is good, bro. You just get up there and then you make fun of their boss and then they all laugh and then the boss complain and then they all like...
and then you never do that gig again. Then they call the next comic.
Yeah. And then it's your friend. I always know, like, if this year I don't get work, right, that means like Rishi got a lot of work this year. And then the next year, if Rishi don't have work, I'm like, oh, it probably all went too fast.
Yeah.
And then when we both don't get work, I'll be like, hey, Jason in town.
Jason and his obsession with Sing dollars.
I mean, it's a lot, bro. We're doing better, bro. Sing dollars is doing very well now.
It's okay, bro. But then let's get into it. And why are you living in KL?
Why am I living in KL?
Is that open secret now?
Yeah.
Everybody knows,
it's
right?
Not really a secret. I just tell when people ask me, but like I don't want to make it a big thing where I'm announcing I'm leaving Singapore, because I'm not really leaving Singapore. Like I come back, I'm here now, and family's here and stuff. But I just feel it's better lah. Quality of life, price of rent, and also I'm moving towards like purchasing property, and I suppose in those kind of investments make more sense when you're in a place where you can do those kind of moves. Like the amount of money that you earn here, regardless, unless you've really you've really broken the ceiling of your income and you're able to make decisions that are outside of what you usually do. When you've reached the ceiling of like what you're capable of, I feel like it's still limited. Like for example, if I have $100,000 here, it's a lot of money, but the things that I can do compared to the things that I can do overseas is a lot more choices that I can do overseas. And I always feel like if I want to kind of expand my mind and expand myself, I have to get out of a place like this, because although it's a global city, it still has a very small town perspective due to just the size alone. How dense the population is and how small you're living. You know how when you like put a tortoise in an aquarium and it has a limit to how big it can grow, as opposed to you like growing it in a field or on a beach, So it's kind of something like that, where like if you want to grow, you need to have an environment that promotes it, an environment that encourages it. And I feel like Southeast Asia is a lot larger than Singapore. In fact, Singapore is not. Singapore is a good representation of financial progress, but it's not really a very accurate reflection of the culture of Southeast Asia, because Southeast Asia is diverse in like when it comes to people in the Malay archipelago alone, like Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore in itself, it's that's already one identity. And then you move further to like Cambodia, Thailand, and Vietnam. That's another portion of Southeast Asia. And then we've got the Timor Lestes and all that. So like it's such a diverse portion of the world that I feel like if we want to give an accurate reflection of what these people are, you cannot be confined to a very small place where it's safe. Like it's perfect and it's safe, bro, but perspective-wise, you've got to get out in order for you to get it. And that's the main reason why I kind of figured that if I want to grow, I have to get out. And the price of rent kind of encourages that as well.
Global city with a small town perspective. Singapore Tourism Board. That's for you for SG61 onwards.
Well, you always got to relate it to some government or body, bro. You always got to tie it back down.
I'm giving them shit, man. I think it's a brilliant encapsulation of what the country is.
Yeah,
right?
it's not. Listen, it's not like. I'm not trying to say that we're not going towards the right direction. I think we're going towards the direction that we are cornered into a choice, cornered to have our own. This is the somehow like there's no choice for us to take this route. Like this was what the building father envisioned,
Founding father.
The founding father. Is it you call him the founding father? Yeah, the father, the Mahathir of Singapore. Right? Like, this is what Lee Kuan Yew envisioned, right? He envisioned he envisioned a Southeast Asian New York. But the difference between New York and Singapore is that New York doesn't function on the same type of I want to say rigidness, no? Maybe
if the positive thing is the efficiency.
There's still a lot of grit and character attached to New York City. In fact, maybe a little bit too much, because it's in the summer it smells like ass.
It's one of those cities where you really got to fight to survive.
Yeah. And there's no alleys in New York. Like literally, like you put the trash out. And that's why, so anyway, my point is, but in Singapore, it's kind of like the Asian interpretation of that, where like we still kind of have that, but then the cultures aren't really, we don't really have the luxury of space for these cultures to grow or these cultures to manifest, and where we didn't really promote it, right? We didn't really encourage it, because we didn't want racial clusters to form. So
you didn't want the enclaves.
You didn't want the enclaves.
You wanted integration.
They wanted integration, but in that, then you find there's this like sanitized version of what a citizen is, because. You know what I mean? Like for example, I can only speak for Malay community, bro. Like you see, like you see the Malays out there, they're doing very well. And granted that the Malays here have fought our way above the income bracket that we were once confined to. Like now, there's a lot of Malays that are doing very well. And the only reason I'm saying that is because they sold out Taufik Batisah's show in 1 hour, and the ticket price is less. Is more than 150. My ticket prices are at $80. I'm very happy for my big brother. However, guys, I'm also here lah. I'm kidding. Okay, bye.
Well, now that you spoke about concerts and shows and all, first of all, congratulations on Still Got Jokes at the Esplanade Concert Hall. Beautiful room.
Thanks, bro.
We saw some of the amazing pictures and
Thanks,
great
bro.
reviews as
bro.
well.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
But you didn't rehearse for NDP during that time. Why never come?
No.
You weren't rehearsing for NDP, right?
I wasn't, bro.
Hey, those fellas that rehearse for the NDP SG60, they want to hot lah, right? Like.
I think it's a great parade, It was good to see Dick Lee coming in on a hot air balloon.
Okay, this guy. Did he?
Yeah,
he came
bro.
on a hot air balloon?
Ben King rode a freaking speedboat from some place where he was singing, and he had to get on a speedboat to get to the Padang in time for his next segment. I think it was pretty wild. I think it was pretty cool.
I think there's no limit as to how much Singapore can just top whatever amazing thing we can do in terms of theatrics and optics. Because like, bro, if the vibe of it, right, is very like, it's like low-key, like, how to say, I don't know how to say. It's a mixture of everything, but got like a bit of the great leader vibes. I think got a bit of the.
Are you talking about like the semangat with which they show the weapons and all that? But that, well, okay. In my,
you know what I mean?
In my understanding, that's part of the reason for the parade, right? Yeah, of course, it's to celebrate the nation's birthday. It's to showcase the different cultures and the different performers and everything. But it's also to showcase our arsenal of weapons.
God damn, bro. Yeah. I mean, it's like, I know it means a lot to a lot of people, and it's a happy occasion for most people. And dude, I don't want to take it away. I don't even want it to stop. Like I love having it.
It's good.
I love shitting on it, and I love it because as comedians, something as grand as that happening. Wow, so much to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Of course, it's like a whole thing. But then also, like, sometimes I think to myself, like, okay, this is as it is. But if you took a time to kind of like really, really have if you zoom out and kind of see like the similarities between that and certain parts of the world, you'll be like, oh, okay, Yeah.
You mentioned the community a while ago.
My community,
Yeah.
Malays.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've been one of the, in my opinion, one of the foremost and most exciting artists from the community over the past 15 years. You've been doing stand-up now? 14?
14.
14?
14
Coming
years,
to 15 years.
15 years, yeah. 14 years.
And we've had this conversation in the past before. Don't worry, relax. Why are you getting so
No.
scared? I'm like,
You know what I'm looking at?
I'm getting real.
It really is Pritam if he did entertainment.
Wow. Oh.
It really is Pritam if he took the entertainment route.
I tried it.
Like, the education level is same. You know what I mean?
No, okay.
And I bet he's as witty also, bro, if he worked on it.
The guy did Islamic studies at some point as well. Education level is not the same.
Not the same one.
No. I think he went to King's College. Like that. He's done a lot more, and he's a far more educated.
Okay, if you
individual.
didn't get injured during your OCS, do you think you would have turned out different as a person?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because you became a clerk and then you were like, this. And then you were like, I'm an entertainer. And then you found this passion. Good for you. But if you were in OCS and you never got out and you went through the whole thing and you passed with flying colours, you reckon you'll be the same guy?
I don't think so. But I would like to set the record straight here. I mean, yes, I was injured. Yes, I was had an ankle ligament torn. but I also was in love. I don't know, man. It's something that I was surprised that they sent me there to start with. I wasn't a very fit guy. I don't think I was like, crazy military strategist or what.
You're doing that football thing now, bro. That's pretty...
Football is cool, bro.
It's pretty
fire,
bro.
That to me was a dream that I will always harbor. Not to sit in some room and plan or like climb the pole or what and get a flag.
Do you ever like stand up and be like, hey guys, coach is right. If we want to win, we have to like stick together.
I always in my head think of it, but before I can give the speech, I get injured. You know what I mean? I'm always like, hey guys, coach is right. Go listen to it. And I'm at the side with
hey
a cramp.
Guys, you know what? Coach is right.
Do you feel like you got the respect your due from your community over the years?
Oh, I like this question.
Yeah. And I'll tell you my experience from my community as well, but because we've had this conversation, like, let me give you another layer to it, right? If you are a classical dancer, if you are a musician, if you are an artist of some kind, fashion designer, it is very easy for a community to go like, my gosh, this person is preserving our culture. He's bringing forward something that is an identity of who we are as a people.
Yeah.
For comedians, though, I don't know if that's the same. So I'm trying to find out from your perspective, what was it like when you were doing comedy at the start, and has that changed now?
I think with every comedian, especially if you come from an Asian background, the resistance towards what you do is understandable because of how anti-culture you will be. Speaking out, opinionated thoughts being voiced publicly, these things are not in line with Asian values. So naturally, these things will be met with high resistance. However, there will be then groups of people within the large community who understands that you are trying to pave a new way, or you are trying to innovate from the inside and introducing something new. So because of that, you will get the support that you get. Now, the percentage will always vary, where the people support you versus the people who don't understand what you do the people who don't understand, and the support will be lesser than those who understand, but then lesser than those who understand percentage wise.
Say again.
So the percentage of the people that will understand you is smaller than the percentage of the people that don't understand and will not support. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the hardest for you to make laugh, or the hardest for you to entertain, are people from within your community, because they are then trying to understand whether or not you're mirroring their reality accurately or not, or if you're an accurate or a good representation of their voice, right? So to answer your question, I've been met with a lot of confusion in the initial stage of my career, and also because I was a lot louder, I was a lot more brash and a lot more ignorant in the way I approach many things. I was very fortunate to also, or for all of that to be accompanied with just blind confidence. And that blind confidence really took me a lot further, because it carried me and my talent to where I wanted to be. Not knowing all these things that I guess were off-putting to a lot of people, but there were also a group of people who were willing to who see past that and kind of be like, okay, I feel like there's something here that he's doing that's different. So now in this point of my life, I kind of feel like I'm fortunate for those people who gave me support, but in a larger scale, there still takes a lot of people who require maybe some exposure to stand up, the art of stand up, and the intention behind what I'm doing to show me support. And that's a very slow increase, but it's an increase nonetheless. The one way that you can get them on your side sometimes is, I guess, getting people from other communities, like the jokes that I've been saying in Mandarin have been attracting a lot of Chinese fans. At the recent show, a lot of my stalls were, I had this joke where a lot of my stalls were Chinese people, and a lot of and when it started to go back, it was all the Malay people. I was like, you guys literally gentrified my audience. like my audience is literally gentrified. But I think now, with more information, the concern is always whether or not whether or not when I'm saying something or I'm making a stereotypical observation, if there is a balanced view towards the other side or not. Because I've had two things that I've said. I've said this on a podcast, and I wouldn't mind saying this to you.
Go.
I'll say with more passion here, obviously. The first time where I realized that there needed to be change, right, was when a guy like a Marip, bro, like he came up to me and he said to me in Malay.
Can I interrupt? When you say the first time,
when you say Marip,
yeah, like when you say Marip, describe Faisal to me. No, I mean, when you say there needed to be a change, you're talking about a change in your approach to your work?
My approach and also my awareness towards what's going on. Like a lot of comedians, like we would say the usual things like, maybe just because you don't get the joke doesn't mean the joke isn't funny, or just because you are offended doesn't mean da-da-da-da-da-da. We go like, but then a lot of times we're defending the attempt to tell the joke, but then because of, I guess, because we're very insecure people, and also at the same time also we're very sensitive, so we don't really take the time to kind of see like, hey man, what is this joke really saying? You know, what is this joke really saying? So I think a large part of that was me trying to kind of observe that. So when this Marip actually came up to me, when I say Marip, I'm just saying this, you know, out of humor, but then like it really is the archetype. So he came to me and said like, hey, you always say bad things about our community, right? You always laugh at the bad things about community. But have you ever once said as the good things? Have you reflected the good things? And then I was like, I'm sure I had, but like it was very hard for me to think of the one thing that I did. So I was like, oh shit, this is concerning.
How many years into stand-up were you when this happened?
This was after the first special, bro. So it's after the first special.
Well, like, what's 5-6 years in?
Yeah, 5-6 years. It's still pretty new. And then the one thing where I was like, dude, I gotta find some way to change this was I was at a coffee shop and these two guys sat down, and then the Chinese guy repeated one of my jokes. And it was, I forgot what lie. It was like some Malay stereotypical joke. Whatever. I forgot the joke. And then he laughed. And then he said, hey bro, don't scold me. Not I say one, he say one. Then I was like, oh no, am I now being used as a vessel for you to be able to say those jokes with a different intention? Like, dude, I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? I don't want to be your passport to say these things. So to me, it's like, all right, then if I want to say something, then I have to say something with a wider point of view and a better observation of like of what the climate of this place really is, you know, as opposed to, look, I held on and I hugged on to stereotypes for the longest time because that was what I thought was my idea of humor, and it was my reality back then, and that's as much as I knew. But like, yeah.
I've seen your act from the early days. You were doing stand-up even before I was doing stand-up, of course. Like I saw you as one of the first comedians. And yes, you were doing jokes about the Malay community, and there were stereotypes there. We both knew someone who was a big part of our lives, probably more so your life, who was John Atherton.
Yes.
And I know he had a big impact on not just you as a human being, but you as a writer as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. I stand corrected on this, but my observation was there was a lot of writing room or writers' rooms or discussions about
I had to buy him a 6-pack of beer, and then he'll get drunk by the end of it, and then he will yell racial insults at me. But within those racial insults, there were bits. There were bits, and those bits were the ones that you had to kind of pick out. And
then you would kind of go like, "Oh, there's a funny thing that this guy said. You know, freaking
rice
genius
munching or whatever." Like, he would throw it at me, and I'm like, "Okay, rice munching," but expand on that.
So
I know rice munching.
You know, I think we're all shaped by our experiences, right? And I can't help sometimes think that there was a lot of John in early Fuzz.
Oh. Of course, 100%, bro.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I didn't know the idea of what Western stand-up was supposed to sound like.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what Western stand-up was. And he was my only
reference point
only
at time,
reference and my only doorway of like how you do this, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times he was just making jokes of racial stereotypes, and I guess that was relevant to when he was growing up.
Yep.
But then it wasn't ideal for me if I wanted to take my ideas global.
Yeah.
Because I get the first year when I was doing Australia, I got a little bit embarrassed because I was like, oh my God, I'm saying all these stereotypes, but there isn't nothing that I think about. I've never started anything with like, oh, this is my observation.
My observation, my opinion.
Yeah. It was,
To be fair, there was some early bits of yours, and I say this as a fan of these bits.
Thanks,
and I've
man.
spoken to comics.
Thanks, man.
Do you remember Wayne?
Chong.
Wayne Cheong.
Yes.
Right? Currently editor of Esquire magazine.
Oh, you just outed him. Shit.
No, but now, see, he's always been a writer.
Yeah.
And when a writer makes a comment about a bit,
Yeah.
you know it's a good bit. So I remember him telling me that, Faz has a lot of these jokes about Malays, but he's got this bit that is so well written and so beautiful. There were two bits that we talked about. One was this about you bringing your niece and going past the Hungry Ghost Festival thing and the girl going happy birthday. So many years after I heard you tell a joke, I saw memes of it. I don't know which people would have used and lifted or whatever, but I saw memes of it, you know what I mean? And I thought this is something that's ingrained in Singapore culture that really doesn't have anything to do with, a racial stereotype. And the other one was about crime in Singapore versus crime in Malaysia. About snatch theft and then the motorbike and then the guy stops at the traffic light. Wayne talked to me about these bits back then and I thought it was really cool. So what I'm saying is that there were already shades of your observation back in the early days, which I see coming out a lot more in your recent work.
Yeah, I think it also takes time, and I guess it comes with you growing up as well. For you to kind of for you to be not afraid to look within and be like, hey man, I kind of have to kind of find that authenticity and that self from your core, and only because you want to provide the people with something unique. Because if you are a replica of what you see, or most likely you're always an interpretation of your inspirations, but then you kind of need to have that uniqueness and that sincerity that comes from within, because then only will you be able to offer something different. And I think that's kind of like my objective here is not to kind of be the guy, because I've always wanted to be the guy. Whenever I was coming up and I was being Fakafaz, I wanted to be the guy. I wanted to be the rock star. And I wouldn't say no to that still, but now the intention is not really want to be the guy. I just want to give something different. Like there's already not enough color in Singapore where everything is as sanitized, as polished as it is. Every single ad you see has the same kind of tone of voice, has the same kind of, hi guys, today with it's very like skippity doodah type shit in Singapore. Everything is so skippity doodah in Singapore. So I am just trying to provide something that is like an alternative view of things. Bro, don't get me wrong. I know that youth culture is strong. Okay, youth culture is strong in Singapore, and there's pockets of places in Singapore that have within them grown a certain kind of culture, because you cannot not have that when there's people. There's definitely will have these things. That have formed, but these things have not surfaced yet to show what the identity of Singapore is. Like right now, the whole skippity doodah thing is still overarching as Singapore's identity, right?
Wow.
So I'm just trying to provide something with the position that I am, to be like, hey guys, we can think like this and we can say like this. We can talk about it like this. Not to say that I'm the most right, probably not. But at the same time also, it's like, okay, now we have options to kind of reflect, not just to give not only to give diversity in the way that people perceive the people from my community, but also the way that people perceive Singaporeans. Because like Singaporeans are taught from the rest of the world to be just like lame, you know what I mean? To be just like just lame, you know what I mean? I mean, like we do very well, we do very well.
We're just a global city with a small town perspective. Hi, welcome to Singapore.
Wow,
that's your ad right there, bro.
No, but that's why I feel. I don't say mindset though, not mindset, just because it's so small. And if you want to widen your perspective, you have to get out. And I'm not just saying everybody do get out. Yep. But I'm just saying the option, that's the corner that we have put ourselves in pursuit of the progress lah. Like, yeah. Do
you feel more of a responsibility now? Is that where it's going? Like, you mentioned that someone came up to you and said that, hey, are you accurately representing our circumstances? Are you accurately representing our realities? Do you feel that that's the responsibility of a comedian?
No, I don't like the ego that's attached to that. I don't like the ego that's attached to responsibility. Like,
how can you be that one person?
I don't like
carry that
I don't like the ego
burden.
that's attached to responsibility. I feel like if I am, I am, and if I'm not, I'm not. Like, I'm just here to be a voice to the people who think that it is a voice. But and at the same time also, the main objective of the whole thing is, well, to give you an alternative view of things, hopefully, and also to make you forget about your bad day lah, bro. You had a up day, you know, you got fired, your girlfriend left you, you know, and then you're in the MRT, and you get squished by this sweaty fat guy, and, you know, and this old auntie that nobody wants to give a seat to, and you're so kasihan but you can't help.
And then the fella shaking from the K-pop vape on the
yeah, I know, on the K-pop vape.
You're like, man,
maxing out from the K-pop vape, and then that's your day, right? And then you go home and then you turn on YouTube and then you watch my shit, and for half an hour to 45 minutes, depending on how many minutes you consider comedy, you forget that. So that to me is just the intention behind it, you know.
Yep.
And yeah, you're right. Like maybe we should and have some kind of responsibility attached to it, but yeah, I just don't feel like I need to be the man anymore. Like I will be a man, you know, and I'll be out there and I'll do whatever but not the man, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, because why why is it that, you know, sometimes people put that responsibility on the comedian or the artist to accurately represent you? I mean, you've got politician.
Talk to the politician, I got what?
Isn't it their job to be your voice? Like that's why you voted them in, right?
Yeah.
And why are we the ones kind of being asked these questions? Like, I'm not sure if, you know, this is really who we are, bro. That's for. I think
because they see reaction. Because they see like people clapping, laughing, and then they feel like, oh, there's a reaction. Is this moving some people, or and it's not, if it's not in line with whatever they are about, then maybe a part of them feels that they have to say something about it lah.
You mentioned high resistance from some people, right? And normally, in my experience, at least with my community, it's normally resistance from those who consider themselves cultural custodians of the community. Like, hey, you know, the Sindhis are supposed to be like that. You know, we have a certain respect or a certain standing and status in society. So I'll tell you, when I started doing jokes, I had people from the community go up to my dad's shop and say, why is your son giving the community a bad name?
Boom.
Why is he making fun of people? Why is he joking about marriage? And why is he using bad words in his jokes? Full credit to my folks, man. They were just like, oh, thanks for your feedback. And then they asked me, are you getting paid for this? I'm like, yeah.
Okay, that is the first Cindy value
hey, we put you through school, right? You know, and if this is a job that's putting food on the table for you and paying your bills, bro, do whatever you want, man. We get it. We respect it. You know,
I really like, since we're speaking about the Cindy community, I really like the show that you made about your dad.
Thanks for coming for that.
Yeah. That show was, it really gave an insight to who you were, and I felt like that was the best tribute. I would never do that for my dad, but but I'm so glad to know that you have that relationship with your dad enough to make a show about him and to have him on stage. That's a lot of time spent with your dad, which not all of us have that privilege. So I'm kind of glad that I have a friend who would parade that in my face, you know. You know, I'm quite like, oh, good for you. You and your dad have a great relationship that you can make a show about him and ramp up his business. Thank you so much, man. Oh, where's my dad? He's still out.
Wait till you see the cut he asked for after the ticket sales, bro. Like, it was not a fun conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel like that also is the same as what I experienced now, where people like, oh, okay, why is he using bad words? And those are the initial points of resistance. Always the language used, the language
used, the ideas shared, which are maybe foreign to the community. But I'm more interested in understanding. Like, I can believe it was there when, you know, maybe you were starting out. But did it change after the 2 Netflix specials, after then Faz, now Fadzri Rashid, tours the region and the world? did that attitude towards your work change?
Yeah, 100%. I think it changed when I started doing the Melbourne Festival and I got the opportunity to do the road shows, and I spent months on end in different parts of Australia performing to large groups of people who don't really care who you are, and not only do they not care, they don't have an inkling or understanding of where you come from or what your culture is, and you kind of have to give them context and at the same time also make them laugh. And the fact that I could I could find the comfort within that to like host and not only entertain but also facilitate the other comedians and set them up to have them come on stage. That was a skill that I was very proud of, and I was very proud to put together. And that's where I realized that, bro, you can't. I thought to myself, bro, you can't lead this with ego, because if you have ego entering this, you will never be able to learn from this. So you kind of have to like just go in and be like, okay, dude, I don't know this and I don't know anything about this, and I want to learn as much as I can. And fortunately for me, this is the one thing that, you know, that I can learn very fast. Out of the many things that I can, maths being the one thing that I can't learn at all. But like, but this being one thing that I can learn very fast. So I think with that, I understood that, okay, stand-up is really about perspective. You know, you really have to have a very clear view about how people perceive you globally and how people perceive culture globally and what the consensus is outside of your community. So when you start thinking like that, then you can find things, and this is something John said also, this is to find things that make us similar instead of things that makes us different.
That's so cool, right? Because I was told that by in a different way about doing the comedy of positivity very early on, because you know you would see a lot of people kind of like roasting and just going in for the negative stereotypes like you mentioned, or kind of just being mean, and it would get like big pops and big laughs.
So people like what?
Yeah. But Stephen Grant from the UK, when he was in town for Beer Fest, I remember many years ago, he told me, he said, Rishi, you know, this is all funny, you see how they're doing this, but remember, if you want to stay long in the business, you got to do the comedy of positivity. You got to find a way to let your jokes bring people together. Rather than apart, which was such a beautiful thought.
Can I just say, some of these comics give these kind of advices that they don't follow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sometimes they give this advice, I'm like, wait, what's this doing in your career, man? Like, why?
How come you never do? You say you do, but you...
Like John was saying, things will make us the same whenever they go up.
Yeah, John. Yeah, actually, Stephen was watching John on stage, and he's like, yeah, John's really funny, but you know, you can't always, you know, John can do that, but you can't always do that. You know, you gotta try and keep it.
At the end of the day, bro, stand-up is a Western art form. It is a Western import. You know what I mean? It was a Western import. It started from, debatably UK or US, right? And then it's brought to this part of the world as an import from the influence that we have. So I think in a lot of the times where we want to learn to get good at this, we have to understand what part of that art form, you know, made it a success, and see if we can. This is shout out to Najib Ali. He said this: it's not about imitation, it's about interpretation. You know, so if you come here, it's like, how do you interpret this in your voice, and how do you mirror your perceptions through this art that you have been inspired by? So yeah, that's
is Malaysia beginning to feel more like home at this point in your life?
See, I choose to live in the very humble expat neighborhood, but
Mont Kiara, right? Bro, you got a Mont Kiara face, bro.
No, I've only been there for a couple of maybe 4 to 5 months. I don't know if I'm being really honest, bro, I don't know where home is. I know where my family is, right? I know where my friends are. I know where most of them are, but like the idea of home right now is still a blur to me.
So where's your family and most of your friends?
Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I don't know what, because like home would mean that there are things in there that there are things within it that you identify as things you had growing up. Home would mean that there's an identity that you can relate with. Home would mean that there's unique experiences that you wouldn't get elsewhere. You know. But and of course, home would mean that you have the people close that you love in proximity.
Yep.
But right now, the last thing is the only thing that exists. The rest of the things, I feel like I mean, it's a developing nation. What do you expect? Things change all the time. You know, things change, and your surroundings will change. Your objective of the nation change. Identity changes. Things get. I mean, cultures get warped into this whole overarching. I guess it's in its puberty stage of what. We are a young nation that's developing, so we're still trying to figure ourselves out. And in the growth, we lose the things that we used to kind of hold on to as our, sometimes you see these government bodies try to do this all the time, but still trying to like hold on to culture that they think is still there. Remember Angku Kueh, guys? Remember Batu Serembat? Remember we used to hop on one leg and play this game? Remember? So and nobody does that anymore.
What game is this?
The hopscotch.
Hopscotch.
We try to pass off hopscotch as our game, bro.
Yeah,
this
bro.
Out?
What, you mean like in Malaysia? You're saying?
No. In Singapore.
Yeah, we try to say, hopscotch is not Singaporean. When did hopscotch become Singaporean? No.
And then the moment Joseph Schooling wins a what do you call this? Olympic medal, they'll be like, where is his favorite char kway teow store, guys? Where is his favorite char kway teow? We need to relate this to identity, guys. We need it. It's very desperate. But like, it's okay because we're figuring it out. That's what I'm saying. So that's why the concept of home, to me, like the location still exists. However, the surrounding and the vibe has now morphed into something that I'm still struggling to kind of understand, and sometimes I get I'll be a bit relieved when I'm face to face with youth culture, or face to face with like maybe underground music scene, or all these scenes, these small scenes that relate some kind of that where there's grit and character within it, but like as a whole it's still very hard for me to kind of understand. So to relate, sorry.
No. I'm getting what you're saying.
To relate to what I said before this, home, right? So I feel like home right now is just a question of where I make home personally, where I make home. So I don't know, like not yet KL, Singapore's the closest, but I'm trying to make maybe Southeast Asia. The feeling of home to be wider than just Singapore. The only place, and can I just say this, when Singapore takes this away from me, right, I will be so devastated. Like the most devastated when Singapore takes this away from me, and I know it's gonna happen. Oh boy. All right, Queensway Shopping Centre. When you take away Queensway Shopping Centre, that's the last thing I'm holding on to in Singapore. That's that's the only constant thing that has existed since I was a child till now. You take that away, right? It's done. It's done. No more home already, bro. Like, that is the only thing I hold on to that makes me feel like home.
What do you used to do when you were young at Queensway?
Bro, like, that place that's the first time I ever saw.
I suspect we were doing different things there.
I'm gonna be real, bro. They used to sell illegal DVDs there. That's the first time I ever saw a porn DVD when I was 12.
Whoa.
Like, yeah.
In the mall?
Yeah, bro. They would have like, bro, and the lights would be red. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you know this.
But on the red lights for him.
The lights would be red. You'll be out there and you'll be looking at, whoa, man, that's a you're 12 and you're like, whoa, that's a butt.
Yeah.
And then you didn't know that, right? And I really And I didn't buy any porn there, but like last time I did it. They can't sell it to me. I was 12.
Bro, were you selling?
Yeah.
I didn't buy.
Then they used to have this record shop that will only sell rock CDs, right? So he had all the rock CDs, like the ones that were underground. He's the only one that researched the rock CDs, and above that is the imitation one. So if you want to buy from below, the guy, he has all originals. Then above there you can buy the copy one for a lot cheaper. And the one thing that's like the most, the consistent thing is the janggut laksa chicken curry lah, bro. No pork, no lard. All right? Everything else debatable. But
really different
no pork, no lard, everything else debatable. That's like, you know what I mean? So that is the only constant that I've had. By the way, now I'm talking about it. We should go eat it. Yeah. The only constant that I've had. But if you take that away, right? Wow, hard. Because like Geylang Serai looks way different now, bro. Like, it has nothing. Like, Tanjung Katong Complex is done.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Wisma was a kampong and now it's Wisma. You know, and arguably the government will be like, see, we made better. What? Still, you complain for what? No, that's not bad.
Physical spaces.
Yeah.
But we have very different experiences and memories of Queensway. Like, I would go there and buy boots. Whatever I could afford at the time.
Or the football boots.
Football boots, yeah. Jersey, football boots.
Yeah.
Peninsula and Queensway were the go-to places, man.
Bro, the McDonald's there, right? I once hired a Mandarin teacher to teach me Mandarin there, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
You hired yourself?
That time I was 18. I looked up at forums. You know, last time they have like those online forums, and then they got like learn Mandarin, whatever. And then this young like she was like 20 or something. So like she was then we hung out and then she taught me Mandarin. And all the maribs used to hang around McDonald's would see me like learning like you know those like tongue twisters about Mandarin one or something like that. So like and then they'll be looking at me like belajar Cina apa? You know like yeah, but that was where I a lot of memories there. So that's the if you talk about home, when I come back here, I think of that. I'll think of Queensway.
Oh man.
Yeah. But wait, you grew up Bedok, so that's why you don't have...
Yeah, very little in there. I mean,
what's
for
the Queensway of Bedok?
Katong Shopping Centre. Well, I mean, Katong Shopping Centre is where the illegal porn was.
Whoa.
Once a week, after school.
Shout out to Teo Heng.
Yeah, man. I don't know who this guy is, but there was a day, and I remember this very clearly because my cousin...
Sorry, I didn't mean to relate porn to Teo Heng. Like, that was crazy.
Teo Heng is a KTV fella, right?
Yeah, KTV. I mean, I'm just saying, like we think about Katong Shopping Centre, Teo Heng.
Back then, I don't remember, man. I mean, the chicken rice place, yes, in the basement.
Not halal, I never eat before.
Oh yeah, we didn't eat that together. We didn't.
So more. Yeah.
Damn. Hello, Muis.
Hey, you know got this ghost shop at Katong Shopping Centre.
Yep.
So they this place where literally their whole service is ghost busting. It is a trip. So you go there. This fella has occupied 3 units. All right, 3 units of the bottom level and
Catch ghost one.
Bro, and his whole thing is he catch ghosts.
Wow.
Okay? And at the outside panel, right, where he's like, yo, look at all the ghosts we catch, bro. This one is a Pontianak. This one is a this one. And it's all in like bottle form outside. He will tell the story of like, yo, man, I caught this ghost.
Got picture? Or what is the form?
Bro, it's not pictures, bro. It's like the literal thing. It's there. It's outside.
Like a figurine or a figure or?
No, yeah.
I mean, what form is the ghost caught in?
You know, sometimes it will get viral online in Singapore where they're like, oh, found a doll under this tree. Is it a Pontianak? So think of that doll, but like the whole wall.
Shit.
Yeah, so this fella got like, oh, we took this nail out of this what ghost. So like, bro, literally the whole, it's crazy. Like the fella's ghost, man. You know, he made a lot of money, bro.
Shit, man.
So he's like a Dato now, bro. He like got inducted into the Dato Hall of Fame. I don't know what Dato Hall of Fame is, but like you can see the fella like getting Dato shape because like he's mad. Ghostbuster. That's the only one I know in Singapore.
Shit,
Ghostbuster.
Man. I knew someone who was a witch.
I know you.
Yeah. So she was doing spells for money. That means you can go to the shop and say, I want this person to fall in love with me.
What an awesome scam.
Bro, the one that I lost my shit on, I was like, they say, I want to curse this person and all their future generations.
Okay.
You said something to me, I've been meaning to ask this to you. We were doing a string of shows once. You were prepping for your own show.
Yeah.
I was prepping for mine. You had just traveled to a few places. I had just come back from a few places, and we were kind of on the road, gigging to get the new hour out. And we talked about how much time we were spending on stage to get comfortable. We both did a gig together at the Lemon Stand, and we came off and we had to meet people in the crowd. You know, they were like, hey,
It's Lemon Stand.
Lemon Stand.
Okay.
And then we went in the green room and you said to me, do you feel that sometimes you spend so much time on stage trying to get comfortable that the act starts when you get off stage?
Oh, no, I know. I think that what I said to you was like, which is the act, the one on stage or the one off stage?
Right? You said that, right? And that really got me thinking because, you know, as a comic...
fucked him up.
that really got me thinking for such a long time because as a comic, you spend so much time trying to be the most authentic version of yourself for your audience.
Then when you're off stage, you don't have to do that off stage, man.
Because then off stage, people come to you and they're like, why you look so tired or why you... I said, bro, because I just gave it my all. And I just was the best.
I don't want to talk to you, lah.
What I want to be as the best version of myself for you on stage. What do you mean by why your eyes so tired? Hey, you go and do 90 minutes and then you go.
Those comics are like, you know, where you think to yourself like the glamorous rock star life that comes with like, maybe after the show, then we go celebrate, we go party, whatever. Bro, that is the worst thing.
Cannot, bro.
That you can get a comic to do after a show. We're like mentally exhausted from being party. And the last thing I want is more noise in my face.
Yeah.
Right? And more socializing with people. Like if I could like just hang with a bunch of comics who kind of understand the experience, great. But you're telling me that I need to be in a loud
Social
room
setting
where the DJ is playing. All I do is win. Can I just say, guys, I'm 38 years old. I'm done with clubbing because I don't want to hear that song anymore. How many more times you want to play All I Do Is Win for me?
Bro, like, I'm 41 and I haven't even heard that song. So, sorry. You've had enough. I've not even started.
You've nullified my argument.
No. But what I want to ask you is...
You really haven't heard All I Do Is Win? Everybody's hands go up and they stay there. DJ Khaled?
Making it worse, bro. All I know is that guy is Palestinian and he's getting a lot of shit online.
He's the fattest Palestinian alive. This is what does that say shit.
That's what I know about DJ Khaled. I know that he's Palestinian and getting a lot of shit, and he's got that one meme which he does like a golf shot and he goes, Gatorade. Like that's the only...
That is one of the obscure ones, bro.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, like, we the best, all I do is win, you don't know. Okay.
All I do is win. Oh, okay. Now it makes sense. Sorry. Shit, my pop culture reference.
No, but do you really know it?
No. All I do is win. I've heard of that. I've seen those memes, but I haven't heard a song maybe.
Wow.
This is a Rishi report.
It's memeified. So it's been memeified already to a point where it's just
the original, I don't know.
The source of it, you don't even know anymore.
Never knew.
That is so
I
interesting.
can't say I knew.
So for me, I grew up with that song first exploding, being a very popular song.
No way.
Right? Being solidified in clubs where they were played about 2 to 3 times.
Nope.
And there's a routine when that song plays.
Never.
And then that song never experienced a fall off.
Bro. I will quote a good friend of mine when faced with these moments. I'll tell you the story, okay? We're doing with this British director from the UK, and he's trying to tell us about these English comedies. He's trying to say these obscure English comedies that this Singaporean Chinese fella never hear before. He's like, have you heard of a Blackadder? Oh, have you heard of this kind of that? And then the guy turned to me, ask him, you got hear a Liang Po Po before? He never hear a Liang Po Po. That's how I hear of his black lam pao.
This is Jackie.
No, this is Jim, bro. He's not a comedian. This guy is an actor who freaking hilarious. He asked me to ask the UK director, ask him, you got hear a Liang Po Po before or not? So I tell you.
That's facts.
Bro, all these things you're giving me, I asked you got hear Das Bahane before or not? Bollywood songs. Because those moments where you talk about, I was dancing in a Bollywood dance troupe. So I did not have enough reference point to this.
I don't have a lot of Bollywood knowledge other than what Shah Rukh Khan has done now. And classic Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, because that's what is at the weddings. I know because I've hosted the weddings.
I don't know how, right, within the Sindhi or maybe within the Indian community in Singapore alone, that they have related like this song to Malay people, and only this song, bro. Only this song they will sing to try and like connect with us, bro. You guys will sing Yang Ku Cinta Padamu Ewa Ewa Ewa, and up to today you would think like, oh, Malay man, we play this song that would turn them up. Granted, it does turn us up.
Yeah,
okay, it does because
some classics, man.
Because it's like whatever, right? It's a fun song, but that's not our song.
No, I know.
You know what I mean?
I'm aware. I mean, I grew up in Bedok South, bro. Like, I went to Bedok View Primary. I tried to learn to play the guitar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
My friend told me that I'll never be able to play the guitar because I had like stubby fingers and all that.
See, if you play the guitar, you could jam with Lawrence.
Yeah.
You would totally do that, bro. You would totally invite Lawrence. I was just wondering if we could just have a chit chat and a jam.
I mean, if he's jamming with people in the Philippines and all, why he won't come here?
That's true.
No, but okay, before we get like sidetracked, I want to ask you that thing about being real on stage.
Oh, shit.
Does your, I think the struggle that we were talking about was you work so hard on making that version of yourself so real and authentic on stage that when you get off stage, you sometimes don't know who you are anymore. Like which part of it is the performance,
right, and
which part of it is real.
See, I've said that. When I said that a while ago, right? And ever since I said that, I kind of like went on a mission to be like, okay, how do we get better on stage, and what are the things that we need to do to get better on stage? And one of the core things that you have to embrace is to know yourself, and when you know yourself, and for me, like personally, if I know myself and I'm happy, or if I'm the closest to happiness, that's the best place to be for me mentally to write material because I'm free. You know what I mean? Like I'm not worrying about anything, and I'm not I'm not emotionally incapacitated by anything. I have the freedom to think about things outside of the norm. So that's where I would think about jokes.
Are you there now?
Close. I mean, it's fleeting. It's in and out. You know, like it's a normal human. So what I feel like where the road that I was gonna take over there after that was to get to know myself better. And when I was on tour in Melbourne and I met Sheng Wang, I mean, shout out to Sheng Wang. Like I sat with him, I saw him at a festival club. So this festival club is basically a place where all the comics go right after their shows. Their shows end early, right? So the shows start at about like 7, and then everybody's shows end about like 9:30, 10, and then the first show at the festival club starts at 11. And what happens at the festival club is everybody on the lineup will showcase 5 minutes of their set to a $10 audience. So a $10 audience of like maybe 200, 300, and everybody in that $10 audience then decides based on the acts that they see who they would choose, right? So now I'm over there at the bar area of the festival club, and I see Sheng Wang over there. Sheng Wang, Netflix prolific stand-up comedian, and he's sitting there, and I thought to myself, man, I'm really enjoying his work because I'm seeing him on stage and he's doing bits. He's so relaxed. He's talking about his life. He's talking about he's talking about mundane everyday things, but making them sound so relaxed and so enjoyable to listen to, right?
A bit about the ring finger.
Everything lah, bro. He's just so he's so insightful, right? The things that he's doing. So I sat down with him, and then I was under the impression that, look, I have leaned on stereotypes and also local references for a long time, and it's built me this base and it's built me this career. But now that I'm outside of this, like I'm kind of out of my comfort zone and I don't know what to do. So I thought of relaying that to him and be like, do you have a solution to a problem, to this so-called quote-unquote problem that I'm having? So now when I went to him and I said that, I said like, hey Sheng, I really enjoy your work. I really love what to do. I hope you don't mind me sitting down here, and I hope I'm not intruding in what you're doing. But I've been having this problem where I'm like, oh, back home, I've built this career where I've leaned on these things, and these things are the crutches that have given me success. But now I'm outside of my comfort zone. I really don't know what to do in terms of comedy, because like how do I then relate to the people here, and how do I relate to people outside of what I'm familiar with? And then he just looked at me, and he says, he just lets me talk, just lets me yap, and then he just looks at me. This guy, long hair, bearded, chill, guru looking guy, you know, like a young Miyagi, and he just looks at me and he goes like, I don't know what you're saying, because the goal here is to be free. And so like, what all these things that you're saying, these are imagined rules that you have imposed on yourself. What you need to understand. And then I was like, oh, so you're saying that I need to understand what the people like? I said, no. You don't have to understand what they like. You don't even have to care, dude. Right? All you have to do is find out your truth. It doesn't have to be the truth. It just has to be your truth, So what do you think about politics? What do you think about relationships? What do you think about a TV show? What do you think? It doesn't have to be the right thing. It just has to be you. And once you've done that, and then that sets you free. That's the reason why we do this, because we want to be able to speak our mind, and we want to be able to be free of the rule sets that they have set on us. So what's the point of you getting out of a rat race to re-enter another one? You know what I mean? Like, you got out of the rat race because you want a non-conventional life, but in this life, you subscribe to the most conventional things.
Fallen back in line.
Yeah, what's the point? And then I was like, oh my God, I've been looking at this wrong this whole time. I don't even know if Sheng Wang remembers him saying this, but that impacted and left such a dinosaur paw print in my head, right? I was just like, oh shit. I ran towards down the street. Jason Leong and Danny Fernandez, they were having dinner at this at this Thai restaurant. I was like, oh, burst through the door. Man, I just met Shen Wang. What the he just said to me, bro, guys, we've been looking at this wrong, man. The goal here is to be free. Yeah, we need to be free. Like, and ever since then, I came back to Singapore and I was like, yo, everything. You know what I mean? Like I have to figure this out. Like, I am not, no more. I don't care if I go to a corporate show and none of y'all laugh or y'all eating duck in front of me. Okay? Just pay me my money and I'm going to say what I want to say. And if you like it, great. If you continue to hire me, great. But if not, I get it.
Yep.
I get it. Right? It's not your thing.
This is making so much sense right now because your text to me when I asked you about this in scheduling and all, you just said, yeah, bro, let's do it, man. Whatever. I've let go of my life. This is what I said, don't worry, man. Just talk to my team about it. I've kind of let go of my life and
cruising. Just cruising.
That one line just encapsulated everything that you've just said, right? Because you reached this level of kind of creative and personal freedom in a way that allows you to be unshackled from these norms of society that you tried to leave by being an artist and then accidentally subscribe to again. And we all are guilty of it in some way.
Because you're scared to lose the thing that you've earned. Like you've earned this success through these things that you've done and you're so scared to lose it. So you're like, what more can I do to keep continuing this success?
Do you feel like at some point you became a slave to the brand that you created?
Oh, you're going to hate what I'm going to say next. No lah, bro. I haven't done NDP yet. But... No. I'm just ripping on you. But I'm just ripping on you. But no. That I feel like no. And I feel like, listen, man, like there's still some hypocrisy in what I'm saying because I have subscribed to some campaigns, but
you're still going to do corporate after this, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do corporate after this. So it's just like you say all this, but then you still have to do all these things that you have to do.
Yeah.
Because that's what is needed to survive as an artist. If you want to continue being an artist and enjoying it, then you have to do what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
And a person who's lifting bricks every day in his life will be like, why is this fellow whining? I literally have to lift bricks, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's I guess a different reality lah that we both live. Like for me, it's kind of like I will try my best to do as much as what I can to keep myself alive and be able to do what I love, and I'm not a martyr or a voice for the people. I mean, if you like what I'm saying, great, but if you don't like what I'm saying, I get it. I can, some of you even like, you can express it or don't express it. To me, it's like the goal here, like, bro, I'm like 39 next month, bro. Like how much longer do I need to spend fighting in the comment section? How much longer do I need to spend sitting down there going, do you like me yet? I don't care. You know what I mean? You can like me or you can don't like me. I have to like me. I have to like me. That's the most important thing. And then you decide whatever you want to decide because I can't control that. Yeah. I think the I have to like me thing is the battle that I should have fought way earlier instead of going, please like me, because it was please like me for a long time. And now I'm going like, man, I should have just liked me way before. It would have been an easier journey, than now only figuring it out. Yeah. So that's what it is.
I don't know if you're gonna like what I say next or you're gonna find it like pretentious or what. But look, I've known you like what, 15 years now? 14, 15 years now? 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
And I have never seen or experienced this degree of clarity and honesty that you've just shared today.
Thanks, man.
And I really am happy for you where you are.
Thanks,
and
man.
I think if I may say so myself, it reflects in the work that you're doing as well.
Hey.
Where's the current tour going to be taking you if people want to see this new version? So I guess for a long time in your career, you were known as the stage persona called Faz.
Yeah.
And of the past year or so, you've recalibrated your identity to your original self, Fadzri Rashid. You did a special on that, I Am Fadzri Rashid, earlier on. And now the tour is called Still Got Jokes.
Jokes, yes.
Where's it going to? Where can they watch you?
If you're listening to me from Malaysia, or if you want to take a trip down to Malaysia, I've got, it's been 3 days we've been on sale. 3-4 days we've been on sale. KL is almost sold out. JB, nice. We're gonna hopefully add a show in KL. We've got KL. We've got 17 and 18 October is in KL, and then all throughout November we'll have Malacca, JB, Kuching, and also Penang. And Penang is also happening in October. So Penang is happening later in October, and that one is also selling fast. So right now, the one that takes a while is always Kuching, but Kuching has always been. I mean, we go there just to give the people there.
We'll put some links to the ticket sales in if you want to catch Fadzri Rashid.
Bro, are the t-shirts that you wear, because I've noticed that your style has now it's a very distinct style now. Okay, I feel like you've embodied this style, because during Happy Ever After, so you wore a t-shirt and then now you wore this shirt. So where are these guys from?
So shout out to actually our wardrobe and stylist sponsors. They are Emporium Group or Trilogy. So she's a local designer, Sylvia, who's been fantastic in just allowing me to wear some of the cool stuff for the shows that I'm hosting for.
Are you still on that fitness thing, man?
I kind of am, yeah. I'm a little less pursuing the superficial now.
I gave him a packet of nasi lemak. He declined it and ate 5 eggs.
Yeah, true story. I've been written off by friends, man. Like, the social life has become
dude, I don't know.
People have stopped calling me out for like lunch in between breaks and all that.
Bro, how does that feel? Like eating like that?
Look, I pick my battles, I guess. When I'm on the road, when I'm traveling, or when I'm doing shows abroad or whatever, I eat pretty much whatever. But when I'm here, I try to be as disciplined as possible. Yeah.
Has that helped, like in health-wise? Do you have, do you feel like you're healthier, you're lighter? You feel
I sleep better. I am able to run faster. I'm able to enjoy football more.
This is all for football, because of football.
Well, right now, in this phase, yes.
Yeah.
A few years ago, it was to get on the cover of a health magazine, which you were there. We spoke about this. I was like, hey, bro, I want to see if I can, get that men's health body.
Crazy. It's insane that between the two of us, I didn't think you would be the one going for that. You know what I mean? Like, I always thought I was, I was so bent on being the man. I was like, I'm gonna but I was like, Rishi's because it's good, because you went there with a different objective. Like, if I was gonna be on men's health, it's because I wanted to be the man, bro. But like, for you to get on men's health, but like, I just want to see how far I can push myself. Yeah. That was where you were at.
I knew it wouldn't happen. But I mean, we met the trainer and we kind of went down this road that eventually a lot more things kind of happened in the fitness space that I again never planned for it, but I'm glad we did that. It was good. It's still been good.
Shit, man. I think only entertainment, right, is the one industry, right, that encourages you to maintain that, because you have to be that fit to be able to still do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it affects your aging and all that, because okay, look, alcohol was a big part of my life.
Yeah.
Right, you know this. A couple of beers here and there, and it affects your entire body internally. And what I realized when I started doing more TV work or like camera work, you can see it on your face. You can't hide
the
whatever dark circles or skin stuff when you're dehydrated and when you're drinking hard liquor. And I was like, oh man, cannot lah. Got to jaga badan lah. This has to change. And that lifestyle change. Now I'm very, very like, okay, if I've got to shoot tomorrow, nope, sorry, no drinks, no dirty food. A little bit of snack here and there, but I'm keeping it clean, man. Lots of water.
Yeah. I apart from my jiu-jitsu, right, I don't have the discipline of the diet discipline that you have.
Yeah,
that's crazy, bro. Diet discipline is something I cannot. I just try not to eat sweet stuff because I see my dad, right. I'm like,
that's the That is gotta be careful of that, because I think it can be genetic.
Yeah, because my dad's like full on like diabetic, right. So I'm like, ooh, that's where it can lead. So let's not hit there. That's crazy. Yeah.
Can I ask your one final thought?
Please.
On the future of stand-up comedy in this country. You've seen some of the open micers. You've worked with some of them. You've had some of them on the show, even like the next gen of comics. What's it looking like? And what will you say to them based on your 14-year journey?
It's very interesting. I really find this to be a very interesting revelation for me, because it's two things, right, from two cities that lack or that they lack in this thing and they have this thing, and the other city has this thing and they lack in this other thing. So let me start with like Singapore first, okay? So Singapore, the audience is such a good audience. To me, it's one of the best stand-up audiences around the world, because not only can they understand local references, maybe they don't understand different languages, but in English, you understand the local references, but they are also sophisticated because they have
global perspective.
They have a I wouldn't say global perspective, but they're sophisticated enough to understand this art form because of how because of the media that they consume lah, and also because this place is a place where a lot of people from around the world come, and it's more of a metropolitan city point of view that is a bit more modernesque compared to something that's very leaning towards Southeast Asian, right?
Okay.
It's more neutral in terms of culture. So a neutral bed is always good for stand-up because when people with culture come in to be like, this is my life, and they reflect whatever reality that is, like everybody can sort of understand that and sort of get what is going on, because it's a little bit more westernized in that sense.
There's a vast variety of understanding that they have as a neutral audience. They can they may not love everything, but they can get everything.
But the comics, they lack point of view. They lack perspective because, and it's not their fault, it's because this place lacks, like it's there's not a lot to reflect. So as a stand-up, you lean to saying all these hacky funny stuff, which you may get a laugh and you may get a pop, but then it's not necessarily a reflection of what's real or what's unique, because you're just saying the thing that would make the crowd pop instead of like reflecting something that is cultural, because it's not their fault, because there's no thing to reflect. Other than maybe sometimes you get the occasional, the MRT is very crowded, or the occasional, the MRT come late, or maybe even now the K-pop epidemic. But how long will that last? Very little, right? As opposed to just having a true timeless reflection of your reality. Other than that, it's very difficult for these guys to embody that, and that's the challenge that they face in a country like this. Whereas for KL, there's so much culture to reflect, right? But the audience is not it's not the same as the Singapore audience. Like the audience still consumes the old things that they're familiar listening to, like the stereotypes lah, the Malay punchlines lah, the voices and all these things that I guess were practiced by the earlier stand-ups to pave the way. It hasn't really grown from that. I feel like it's still the same. Yeah. So that's the thing that they lack there. So it's a good. So what I'll do is, like, I'm over there, I gain perspective from
and
that.
And you come perform in Singapore.
Yeah. Like, I have this bit that I'm trying to make work. It's about how I'm a serial cheater. And see, if I'm from Singapore, they're like, oh, okay, I understand it. He's playing with this premise. He's playing with this idea. It's not real. It's an act. Let's go. But over there, it's like, if I laugh, then am I abetting to this negative? To this action is not good. That if I maybe then that means what am I also encouraging this behavior? So there's still that.
Right.
Yeah, and that's very hard when you judge someone and then no more idea already, because I become defensive.
Yep.
And then I don't have the space to explore that. So I find that Singapore has more leeway and people have more they're very forgiving in that sense, and that gives hope to Singapore, because it gives hope of like, okay, that means that there is a possibility for us to become something greater. However, we are still in the midst of trying to figure that out. But before we can figure all that out, we have to call a spade and kind of like understand what it is. We really don't understand what our identity is right now, and we're in search of it. So if we're in search of it, then let's be in search of it, all right? Even though it's boring, it's safe, right, Singapore?
No.
Even though it's boring, isn't it safe? Isn't it safe? Isn't that what you want?
Man, no. That's we are still in search of an identity with Singapore.
Yeah.
And if you really want to find out a bit more about that exploration, got a documentary coming out on CNA that I'm hosting. Tell me. Regardless of Identity, bro.
Are you serious?
It's a 2-part docu I've been shooting since last year. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's a little
okay,
about...
do you call it as it is, or do you be like, this is fine?
No. I mean, the interviews, we've interviewed and talked to people and called out a lot of things and basically asked questions of their identity. But this keeps coming up, that is so diverse and so non-homogeneous that people don't know. Everybody will be like, is the food or is our...
Can we Google that word, kind? Non-homogeneous?
It means tak sama lah. Not all the same.
Non-homogeneous? What's that? Tak sama.
Homogeneous means there's some kind of common...
Y'all can't just do this and expect me to get it. You know what I mean? Like, what is this?
Homo is one.
Homo. You can't say homo. What is homogeneous? It doesn't mix.
Yeah, so homogeneous.
No, because I want to start using that word, and I don't want to use that word if I don't know.
No. Homogeneous means like there's one like a same kind of thing. So
same. Because it will fit in my whole rant. So the word will fit.
But I can't think of like
where we're heading. Homogeneous.
See,
you know what I mean?
Like you go China. China, there's a homogeneous identity.
Homogeneous. I get it.
Like,
okay.
You can say
that's what I'm trying to say. I've been trying to be like holistic. But not real. But homogeneous is the word.
Better check first before we any.
I'm going to use it in other interviews, but you're going to see me in other interviews going, it's just non-homogeneous. okay, so you're saying, yes.
Check it out. If it's,
are you serious? When's it coming out?
September something. Don't know.
Yes, Rishi.
Don't know. See how.
Yes, finally some work of yours I can respect.
Oh, good man. I hope you watch it, bro. I really do.
I hope you can watch it, bro. The English got cheap.
The English, we use words like homogeneous. No, bro. Thank you so much for making time to be here.
Hey, bro.
It's just been a really, really wild conversation, man.
Dude, I'm so glad that we did this, and I'm so glad that we just went into it. You know what I mean? There's no pretense put forward.
Folks, that was my very good friend Fadzri Rashid. If you enjoy the conversation and if you're keen to watch Faz's work live, check out some of the links below. We tell you where he's going on tour in the next few months. Join us on our next episode of the Rishi Report SG60 podcast series, where we talk to another special guest and find out their Singapore story and how it links to SG60. We'll see you very soon.